Hi and welcome along to the Tactical Insight Show where we do a debrief of the game from the weekend. Of course, it was Arsenal 1, Liverpool 1. I've got Graham with me. You know, Graham's a tactical genius who comes on AFTV. You are?
I'm not, mate. No.
You are. That's what everybody's been... You know how we started doing this show? Is that everybody's always messaging us and saying, get Graham on. Graham talks sense. Graham always lets us know the real insights of everything. He's not like Troops. I'm saying that because Troops is in the room. He's not like Troops. He gives us a real insight, and you do. You give us a great insight. And first of all, what did you make of the game?
I thought it was a fantastic game, Rob. It was an absolutely fantastic game. I was buzzing. I lost my voice during the game. That's how good it was, cheering the lads on. The atmosphere inside the Emirates on Saturday night was everything that we called for. And that was the great thing about it, because we said we wanted to recreate that atmosphere that we did against Tottenham last year. And we did that on Saturday night. We were the 12th man, and the team responded in a very positive fashion. And I think it was a fantastic game of football. Great.
Fair result, did you think?
Fair result.
In the end?
I think so. I think it was a fair result. If you look at the stats, we had more possession. Liverpool had one more shot. We had covered very similar distances as Liverpool in the game. We completed more passes than Liverpool. And one thing I thought, to beat Liverpool in this game, we had to sort of like match their intensity in central midfield, and also we had to sort of like match their work rate in central midfield, because Liverpool had hard-working midfielders. They worked out a slight bad hand in the fact that they couldn't play Keita and Henderson, and I think all Liverpool fans will say that probably affected the balance of their midfield. Certainly, I think there was less pressing from the players who came in. It was interesting to sort of watch the matchups between Torreira and Fabinho, our £26 million signing against their £40 million signing. And immediately you saw how well Torreira's fitted into the club already, whereas Fabinho's still not quite ready, is he? He's not quite up to standard. And I thought that the Torreira-Xhaka partnership was immense. I mean, Torreira put in 2 tackles in that first half that really got the crowd going, Robbie, didn't they? Absolutely fantastic tackles. So the shape of the match was, we played our normal 4-2-3-1. Aubameyang on the left, Mkhitaryan came in on the right. Iwobi dropped out in the previous week, and obviously we were worried in the build-up will we have our fullbacks, Kolasinac or Monreal and Bellerin, because obviously we were fearing the worst if we didn't. They had injury problems in their central midfield, and obviously they couldn't play Keita and Henderson, which I think obviously was benefit us in the game in central midfield. But thankfully for us, we had our 2 fullbacks Robbie playing. And the great thing was watching that game on Saturday, you had Bellerin on one side, Kolasinac on the other, bombing forward.
Was you surprised by that? Because we were sort of saying that they might kind of sit in a bit more because it is Liverpool. Well, it was a very brave performance by Arsenal. They really took it to Liverpool. Even speaking to some Liverpool fans after the game, they were like, wow, we were surprised by the way you just took it to us, you know?
I've got no problems with our fullbacks bombing on. We played a very attacking lineup Saturday. We played 4 attacking players across the front. Mkhitaryan on the right, Lacazette, Aubameyang on the left, and Ozil in the cam position. And there was a lot of fluidity and movement. So a couple of times, Aubameyang was sort of like out wide left. He came central, which is what we'd like to see. I think also he was working back to the halfway line. Give him credit for that, to support Kolasinac. Great contest between Kolasinac and Salah. I was a bit worried. There was a couple of incidents in the first half.
Kolasinac did well.
He did. His physicality got Salah off the ball a couple of times, disheartened Salah. And I think one thing that happened in the game is at half-time, it was 0-0. I thought that the chances was fairly even in the first half. Liverpool fans thought they had the better chances. Maybe they had the better chances, but we had great chances. And Salah in the second half, he changed the formation about Klopp at half-time. Salah went more central in the second half. And what Liverpool tried to do quite cleverly, Robbie, they tried to isolate Salah on holding, you know. So, but just coming back to your question, what I liked about the Arsenal team on Saturday, we've been crying out for discipline and structure on our side. And one thing that happened on Saturday is whenever Bellerin went forward and or Kolasinac was forward, we had Xhaka and Torreira covering the space. We kept the distances.
Asking for that for ages, a bit of protection in it, and we saw it.
We had that protection because they covered the spaces. We kept the distances small. The 2 central midfielders were working close together and covering spaces. And also Mkhitaryan was working hard back on the right-hand side. And even Aubameyang, as I said, worked back on the left-hand side. So we did cover the spaces. And it's all right if your fullbacks go forward as long as the rest of the team is in a structure and discipline when they lose possession. Because in the past under Wenger, we wouldn't have had that, would we?
Now, there's a lot of Liverpool fans you know, I'll be bantering him afterwards, bantering back. It was a great game, as we said. But a lot of them saying, Robbie, no, I'm not even going to try and do a Scouse accent because it's terrible. My Scouse accent is terrible. But they were saying that we're very fortunate because their offside goal should have stood. Now, I know you've going to talk us through it.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on it?
Well, first of all, obviously at the time in the stadium, you couldn't tell. But clearly, watching it back, Liverpool were unlucky. It was a perfectly good goal. Now, when you look at that goal, and we put it up on the board under two phases, first phase and second phase, to show that Mane was onside in the second phase when he puts it in.
Yeah.
What we've shown here in the build-up is Liverpool had grown into the game and were making some impression down our left-hand side, Lacazette's side. And in this phase of play, Trent Alexander, their right fullback, has got forward into an advanced position. And this was roughly the setup in the penalty box. Now Mustafi, who I thought was absolutely exceptional, immense on Saturday, his numbers were exceptional. Mustafi is always an 8 out of 10 or a 3 out of 10. He was an 8 out of 10 on Saturday. But his numbers were exceptional, the interceptions, his tackles, and he was a real leader on Saturday. But he made an error here. Now, when Trent Alexander, if I get the pen, has got the ball. In fact, I can't find the black one there, Rob, so go with the red one. We've got the black one. The black one.
Got black one.
Sorry about that. Now, Trent Alexander is going to float the ball into our box towards Firmino, and Mane is in that position in the box as well. Now, Mustafi is here. Now, Mustafi here has got a decision to make. Does he go with Mane or does he come forward? He gambles. He comes comes forward, leaving Mane, who's behind Firmino, as Firmino is about to receive the ball. He receives it. Leno comes out from the goal, and Firmino flicks it over Leno, and it goes onto this post. Now, what then happens is Leno is now grounded. Arsenal are trying to recover the situation. The ball has now come out. Mane is continuing his run on. And then we go to the second phase. Because he was behind Firmino, he's not active now. And he puts the ball in net. So that was a mistake by the linesman. Perfectly good goal.
Looks offside there. Look, he's slightly off. We reckon lines are slightly. No. You know what? You were right. We did get.
He wasn't active, Rob. Wasn't active.
Yeah, I was behind the goal at the time, and I thought, hey, look, mile offside. And even like the way Mane ran off, he sort of had that look as if to say, I think I'm offside.
I think he looked as though he thought he was offside.
Yeah.
I thought that in the stadium.
But actually, it was onside, and we got away with one there. We really did get away with one. So Graham, we were having a little bit of an friendly argument, right, on Saturday when we done the interview, because you were saying that you felt that the goal that we conceded was Leno's fault. Explain why you thought that.
I think for me, Robbie, is that two reasons, right? I don't think he moves his feet quick enough, right, when the cross comes in, and he palms it out into the middle of the goal, which is a cardinal sin for a goalkeeper. He's on the stretch, not in control, yet he chooses to palm it out. He's not.
Hold on. Was he he palmed it out? You're right. I don't know if he's palmed it into the middle of the goal. He palmed it and it was sort of going out wide, not wide enough, but going out wide. And Rob Holding sort of flicks it, and that's what sends it back central. That's what I saw.
No, he flicks it out and it flicks off Rob Holding to James Milner. So, but yes, it did deflect off Holding into Milner's pass.
Yeah, so if Rob Holding wouldn't have touched it, it wouldn't have got to Milner, would it?
He palmed it out central, so it was coming out. I mean, the things in this play to actually look at was, first of all, when they built the play down our side, first of all, you had Bellerin and Mustafi in defensive areas for us to sort of cover the situation. And Robinson, who was a really good outlet for Liverpool during the game.
Cross of the ball,
and he had an outstanding game, I thought, at left back. Now, he plays Mane in. Now, at that time, Bellerin and Mustafi are our two defenders on that side. And I think the decision is that Bellerin took a lot of stick because he didn't get back into shape. But Mustafi, for me, had a great opportunity to come across and win the race to the ball. He also had a chance to look at the area and assess to see the bigger picture. And he would have seen Mane breaking into that area. So once he does that and he gets beyond Bellerin, for me, Mustafi has to come across and clear it out. And he has to win his race across that. Van Dijk did it for them on a couple of occasions.
Getting to Mane though, he's so quick. I mean,
he's incredibly quick.
You know, that's the thing. I mean, they were so electrifyingly quick when they broke Liverpool.
And I thought that Bellerin did a really good job on him. He won his 2 tackles against him on Saturday, and overall I thought he had a really good performance, Bellerin, going forward and defensively. But in this instance, Bellerin's slightly forward, and he doesn't notice Mane breaking off him. Mustafi, who's behind him, has a chance. He could have seen the whole picture from where he was. He has to come across and win that battle. But Mane is quick, you're right. Now, when Mane gets there, Leno, obviously in goal, he's got to assess what's happening in front of him. Now, there was no one in the middle, quite frankly, and I think what Mane does quite cleverly is he puts it across, is trying to create the chaos, because I don't think Mane, you pointed out to me that Mane is quick, probably too quick for anyone to get into the middle. So Leno, question for me was, is Leno aware what's happening in the box around him? Does he check first of all? But when that ball comes across, Robbie, he does not move his feet quick enough. That's why he's in trouble. He doesn't move his feet quick enough. As a result of that, he's stretching for it. Now, once he's stretching for it, he's got a decision to make. He's got to really try and catch it, and he doesn't get there, and he tries to palm it out. Now, if you're going to palm it out, the card will seem for a goalkeeper to palm it out in the middle of a penalty box. And that's in effect what happened. He was unlucky in that Holding deflected it. The other point I would make in this passage of play is our 2 central midfielders, Xhaka and Torreira, who were excellent protection in front of the back 4 on Saturday. Both of them didn't track the run of Milner. And maybe I'm looking back and I think Xhaka was the closest player, and he was struggling to get back at Milner. Now, whether you could argue that Xhaka should have been tracking him is another debate, but Milner certainly arrived. I know it's easier for the offensive player on the front foot, but we didn't track him as he ran onto that ball, and he drilled it. And again, I think it took a slight deflection that took it over Leno. But for me,
and then Mustafi nearly got it on the line as well.
He did, yeah. Mustafi was there, yeah. But for me, I think that's an error from Leno. I mean, I like Leno as a goalkeeper. He made 2 or 3 outstanding saves, a couple from...
I don't think that was his best game.
No,
he had another time. Somebody was pointing out to me yesterday, actually, he could have been sent off, because when he came rushing out that time and he missed, and they always say when you come out of your box to claim and you miss it, you've got to make it, and he missed the ball completely, and Van Dijk got that header in.
Yeah.
He kind of took Van Dijk out a bit as well. But
I agree, but then in the first half, Alisson did exactly the same to Mkhitaryan.
Yeah.
When Mkhitaryan, that ball was floated in, and Mkhitaryan back flicked it, Alisson came straight through Mkhitaryan.
Both goalkeepers didn't have their greatest game, really.
And I think the funny thing is, I will point out this, they've got a £75 million goalkeeper, but Alisson did exactly the same in the first half. A cross came in from the left-hand side, and he palmed it straight out into the live area of the penalty box. Unfortunately for us, Mkhitaryan couldn't control it, or maybe we would have had a similar sort of situation from a goalkeeper palming a cross out. So Leno, for me, we bought a really talented keeper, but he's still prone to errors, and I think we knew that when we were buying him. And I think some of the crosses he's coming for at the moment, he's not getting. And that Van Dijk header, he came an awful long way for that cross and didn't get there.
This is where he's going to have to get used to the Premier League. I think it will come. I really like what I see with him. I think he's going to be a top goalkeeper. Now, we spoke about their goal, but what about our goal? A fantastic goal by Alexander Lacazette. And I know you're going to talk us through how we managed to get this goal, how we managed to salvage the goal. And you know what I liked about it, right, is the fact that I got the feeling that if this game would have been last year, I know we drew 3-3 last year, but we all know that we got out of jail big time in that game. But it's a much better Liverpool defensively as well. But we kept going, and Lacazette came up with a brilliant world-class finish. Talk us through this one.
He did. And first of all, I'm going to pay credit to Unai Emery. I think he really impressed me at the weekend. This was a sort of game we can judge what our manager's about, right?
Yeah.
He's had a number of weeks now with the team, and he was up against a top side. And everyone was saying, Paul Merson famously said we would get battered, didn't he, by 3 or 4 goals. So he made sure that we were structurally right, out of possession, and the team matched them right across the pitch. And one thing he also did, we matched them for intensity and work rate in the middle. But when they scored, there was a danger then that we were going to lose belief, because we had belief, Rob, in that game. We had belief. Now, what he did was he made 3 substitutions, and one of those substitutions was Alex Iwobi, and he's key to the goal. And in a minute, I'm going to highlight his involvement. He had 2 dribbles. Drop another pen there. Torreira is obviously the player who plays it across to Iwobi. Now, Iwobi already tested him on that their right-hand side. with a couple of runs earlier where he drove into those areas. Now, what Emery did really clever at this stage was he took off Aubameyang and put on Ramsey. A lot of people questioned that at the time, but he also put on Welbeck. And what he did, he went brave. He moved. Iwobi was now playing as a left fullback, and Welbeck was occupying a central position with Lacazette in a 2. I like a 2. I've said that to you before. Now, what this did was this created problems now for Van Dijk and Gomez. Now, during the game, both of them just had Lacazette. So if you've only got like one centre forward there and you've got 2 centre halves, they've only got to worry about one player. But what they were confronted with in this phase of play, as Iwobi drives forward, is they're now occupied by 2 forwards. Now, what Iwobi does is he's going to play it in here. Now, Lacazette is going to peel off Van Dijk and go into that area. Now, Van Dijk and Gomez, obviously, they've got 2 forwards here. They're watching 2 forwards at this stage. Lacazette quite cleverly comes across. And what Alisson does, he then recognises the danger and has now come out. And I don't think the Liverpool defence or Alisson was expecting Lacazette then to shoot. I think Lacazette's now pulled over into this area to the side of the post, and he's about to swivel and turn. Now, he could have played it back across the box. Alisson has come and stopped and held his ground and waiting to see what Lacazette's going to do. And what Lacazette does quite cleverly, I'll just pick the pen up, excuse me. What Lacazette does quite cleverly, then he swivels and hits it into that corner. And I think brilliant. Enormous credit. It was a fantastic finish by Lacazette, Robbie. But I give credit really to the manager, who went really brave in that last 15 minutes. I know we were chasing the game, but who would have thought of Iwobi at left back? He took off Kolasinac, but not for Iwobi originally, but changed it around again. Iwobi was then driving into those areas. We were now on the front foot. Ozil, who I thought pretty good on Saturday, he created 4 big chances and he had more touches in the attacking third of the pitch than any player on the pitch. So he had a good game. But Torreira is now coming forward. They created that situation, Robbie, where they drove forward and Lacazette spins off, and it is an outstanding finish, Robbie. And that got us our draw.
Graham, I want to find out from you before we go. Have we seen a turning point for Arsenal Football Club? We've had a great run, fantastic run under this manager. But as you called it earlier, Paul Merson and many others said, yeah, the minute we come up against one of the big boys, we're going to get smashed to pieces. Not only did we not get smashed to pieces, we gave a brilliant account of ourselves. We did not look out of our depth at all. We looked like that's the company we need to be and we should be in. And we could have won the game. I think the result was fair, but we gave a brilliant account of ourselves. Is this team a team to be reckoned with this season?
Well, I think a few years ago, do you remember when Wenger went to Man City and we put in the perfect away performance and won 2-0 with Santi at the exception of the game that day? This was a big test. Liverpool are 3 years ahead of us. Klopp's 3 years ahead of Emery. Massive investment in the team. £75 million on a centre-back, £75 million on a goalkeeper, and he spent big in the summer. Emery has only had that one window. But one thing he's done already is he's galvanised the squad and the team. And he's got a structure of play now that means that I think, unlike the previous manager, Arsene Wenger, where we were very much a sort of team that just sort of went into games on the front foot, so to speak, without any real defensive midfield shield in front of the back four, he's already now identified that problem, and he's got Xhaka and Torreira now. Torreira, who's sort of like sniffs danger, who cuts out passing lanes, sitting there in front of the back four next to Xhaka. And Xhaka was, I think, the man of the match on Saturday. He had, got his numbers down here, Robbie, 119 touches, 97 passes, 5 tackles and 2 aerial duels won. But his passing was superb. But he also was covering ground. He covered a lot of ground with Torreira on Saturday. And he worked hard in that midfield, and they were a shield.
And he was talking to the other players as well, right? Encouraging them and saying,
So I would say, in answer to your question, we're progressing in the right way. It's too early to say we've now got a team. We're still a long way behind Man City, Liverpool, and short of being where we want to be. But this was a real statement of that we've progressed under Emery already. People were writing us off. They were saying that this 13-game run was sort of against weak sides and that we were going to get hammered by Liverpool. But Emery's tactics, the way he managed the team, his passion on the touchline, he was kicking every ball, Robbie, wasn't he? I love to see that. And I think he's got the team, the tremendous sort of like togetherness, belief, They had intensity and desire on Saturday, and that comes from the manager. The manager's on there telling them what to do on the touchline. So in answer to your question is, I think we're heading in the right direction. We've competed with Liverpool and got a well-earned point where we matched them in the game. And so in answer to your question is, I think we are heading in the right direction. I still think that we can improve, and he talks about working hard and improving all the time, and I think that's where we're heading. But this was a really good performance against a top side who, let's face it, were in the Champions League final last year. And also we kept their famous front three fairly quiet in the game, and they ended up with just Shaqiri up top with Firmino and Salah taken off. So overall, I think you have to say that we're moving forward in the right way, Rob.
Okay, brilliant. Well, listen, thank you very much, Graham, for your tactical analysis. It's been brilliant. We'll be back next week. We'll be analysing our next game, which is going to be Wolves at home, which is going to be another big test. Just to give you a shout to check out a video that we got coming out. We interviewed the author of the brand new Unai Emery autobiography, and that's really, really interesting. If you really want to get an insight into Unai Emery and how he thinks and the sort of way he looks to build a team, make sure you watch that video. It's absolutely brilliant. Graham, thanks again, and we'll be back next week.
Cheers, Rob.
Hi, how you doing, everybody? This is Ian Wright. Don't forget to check out my new YouTube channel. The link is in the description. Check it out, man. It's gonna be.
Yo, what are you doing, man?
I'm sorry, Rob. I had to touch the Holy Grail mic, bro.
No, you can't do that, bro. What are you doing? You can't.
Like a rascal like that, bro.
Don't forget to check out Ian Wright's brand new YouTube channel. The link is in the description. It's going to be brilliant.